For me, there is a sacredness around numbers and how they are reflected in, for example, the Fibonacci code and the golden ratio. The Fibonacci code is a series of numbers that consist of a sum of numbers calculated in the following manner. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 plus 2 equals 5. 5 plus 3 equals 8. 8 plus 5 equals 13. So there's a pattern there. If you start with, for example, the sum of 6 and 9, then the series of numbers will look like this. 6 and 9 equals 15. 15 and 9 equals 24. 24 plus 15 equals 39. 39 and 24 equals 63, and so on. The code was named after Leonardo Fibonacci and can be observed in many ways in nature. For example, the placement of leaves around a stem, or the proportion between the two sets of spirals in a head of sunflower. You'll find the same proportions in a pineapple, pine cone, artichoke, and a fern leaf. Two quantities are in the golden ratio if their ratio is the same as the ratio of their sum to the larger of the two quantities. This relationship applies not only to nature, but also to architecture, art, and music. Researching numbers and the relationship between numbers is a humbling experience because it gives you a glimpse of a mind that created this earth, the universe, and everything in it in all its splendor. However, the jury is out on how the average numerologist applies their craft to people and their analysis and predictions of people. I suggest you do your own research into the topic. Before we look at repetitive numbers, let's first go back to the definition of time, which we covered in Module 4. What is time? Is it a frozen moment on the clock? Is it something between the start and the end of an experience, which will make time linear? Compare a minute of meditation to a minute of someone yelling at you. Which minute is the longest? Such an experience will create the impression of a linear time, but that is because you add your experience to the definition. Or is time circular, like the seasons or a clock? This would imply that time is unending. However, there is an end to one season, which is the beginning of the next season, even if you can't pinpoint the exact moment where one season turns into the next. Or maybe time is the measurement between the start and the end of change. If this is the case, then if we can't see any change, there is no time. But what if one person can see change and another says there are no change? And when do things ever completely stop changing? Does that sound right? It makes more and more sense to say that time is not separate from space. The time-space continuum consists of length, width, height, and time. If you look at your life, then some experiences stand out more in your memory than other experiences, which makes this continuum credible. There is a beautiful Arab proverb from the 12th century. Man fears time, but time fears the pyramids. Let me explain this proverb. Time, especially linear time, is a construct that makes this life and this world easier for us to understand. It gives us a frame of reference and helps us to understand cause and effect. However, life is not about putting the past, present, and future into neat little rows. Life is about having experiences and about gaining wisdom. Time is one tool that helps us create the experiences. We spend too much time pondering on the past. We experience guilt, regret, and other emotions about things we cannot change. We're concerned about the future which hasn't happened yet, and which always turns out to be quite manageable once we get to the future we feared. We spend too much time panicking about what is still coming, when the future is a combination of destiny which you cannot do anything about, and creation. You consciously create with your thoughts and you are in charge of those thoughts all the time. All this focus on the past and future prevents us from enjoying the moment. The pyramids that I refer to in the proverb represent what is far bigger, deeper, and more powerful than anything on earth, including time. The pyramids represent an extraordinarily strong energy and reminders of the presence of another civilization. The origin of the pyramids is a mystery that we will probably not resolve in this life. The proverb reminds us that we need to spend more energy on respecting what is represented by the pyramids, and less time on panicking about time and the future. The pyramids are older than human memory. They represent history that is part of who we are today. They contain miracles. How were they built and why? The pyramids represent magic and reminds us that we are specks in the history of this planet. What are memories? Memories are reconstructed incidents in time and space with added emotions. We add the height. How much energy did an incident require in your life? The weight. How important was the incident in your life? And the length. How long did the experience last for you? We created each one of those memories, and that is easy to grasp. However, what is a little more difficult to grasp is that we use the same creation process to create the future, which we then eventually experience as memories. Once you understand this, imagine how much rosier your future will be. In my view, everything is energy. Where energy lines cross, a time-space anchor consisting of knowledge, wisdom, and experiences is stored all around your physical body. There are many of these time-space anchors. Imagine one for each memory you can recall, and one for each dream of the future that you have or are creating. Where these energy lines cross, or where there are humps in the time-space continuum, information is stored. And that is what I access when I do psychic readings.